My book is called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat. This book is about what the most important elements of cooking are, and understanding them and how to use them to get better at cooking. The book states that the four most important and essential elements of cooking are salt, fat, acid, like acidity, and heat, hence the title. And my goal is to get better at cooking by practicing using all four of these elements multiple times, and also make food that tastes really good. This book starts off by talking about each four of the elements individually. So first salt section, and then there's the fat section, and then eventually it gets to the acid section and then the heat section, and then it has a list of things, what to cook right here for each thing. And then after that, it has a whole section of a bunch of different recipes, full-on recipes you can use to make stuff. So week 1 is salt, and my first thing I'm making is stir fry. So here I'm cutting up the vegetables to eventually go in the wok. First I cut up the broccoli, then the squash. Now I'm cutting up the carrots, and finally the peppers. And then I'm going to pour the pasta into the pot. Then pour the pot stickers into a separate pot. Then I pour multiple different seasonings into the wok where the vegetables and pasta will eventually go. Then I pour a lot of soy sauce and another seasoning into a separate dish. Now I'm able to put the vegetables into the wok with the seasoning. I put oil on the griddle. Then I put all the pot stickers on the griddle. Then flip them all over. Now I can put the rest of the vegetables in. Pot stickers are done, so I take them out and put them in a dish. Dump in the cooked pasta. Stir it around and add sesame seeds. On page 19, Nosrat said, "I thought about all of the foods I'd love to eat growing up. I realized then why it had tasted so good. It was properly seasoned with salt. Next, I made corned beef. First, I put it in the water. I chop up red and Yukon Gold potatoes. Put the potatoes and carrots in the pot with the meat. Let it cook for a while and it's done. Now I'm making maple salmon. I put the seasonings together in a dish and mix them up. I cut the skin off of the salmon. Season the salmon with salt and mix of other seasonings. Then I fold it up in the aluminum foil and put it on the smoker. Then I make some rice to go with the salmon. Then I flip the salmon over to the other side. Pour on the maple syrup, and it's done. Here I'm making a big breakfast for everyone. I flip the bacon, stir the hash browns, break open the eggs, flip the sausage, take the bacon off the pan, put on new bacon. I mix up the eggs and milk. Put the bread in the egg mix, then on the griddle. Flip the bacon, stir the hash browns. Put more bread on the griddle, then flip the other bread. I take the bacon off the pan, flip the French toast over, and then it's done. Week 2 is fat, and I'm cooking the chicken for enchiladas. And here I spread enchilada sauce around the dish. I'm taking the stems off of the spinach and then breaking it into smaller pieces. Now I'm putting the corn tortillas in some oil to give extra flavor. Then I put chicken, spinach, cheese, and enchilada sauce inside the flour tortillas. Then some enchilada sauce and cheese go on top. Then I make a different version with corn tortillas and is assembled a little differently. I'm going to make some rice to go with the enchiladas, so I melt some butter. Then I put in the rice and stir it until it becomes brown. I dump the water, tomatoes, and seasoning in. And now it's done. I'm making chalupas, so I put the meat in the crock pot. Then I pour in the diced tomatoes. After that, I pour in the green chilies along with the beans. Then I pour in the oregano, chili powder, and cumin. I pour in a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper. Then I can put in the chopped onion. After that, I stir up everything in the crock pot. Then plug it in and turn it on. Then shred up the pork and put that shredded meat in the crock pot. Once I put the shredded meat back in, I mix everything together. After it's done cooking, I put the meat in a burrito with other things. Now I'm making baked spaghetti, so I'm breaking up the meat in the pan. Then I put cottage cheese, parsley, and mozzarella onto the spaghetti I already made and then mixed it up. I put some garlic in with the meat, along with some sugar. Then I pour a lot of sauce into the meat and other seasonings and mix it all together. Then I can pour the cheesy spaghetti onto the dishes. And then I can put the meat sauce on top of the spaghetti. Then I top it off with some mozzarella cheese. Now I can put it in the oven, and it's done. Nosrat said, without the flavors and textures that make fat possible, food would be immeasurably less pleasurable to eat. In other words, fat is essential for achieving the full spectrum of flavors and textures of good cooking. Page 60. Now I'm making scalloped potatoes and ham, so here I'm peeling the potatoes and then slicing them. Now I'm putting some flour into the pot, along with milk. Then I stir it together, and then add more milk, and then stir all that together. Once it's boiling, I pour it on top of the sliced potatoes. I put it in the oven for a while, chop up some ham, take it back out of the oven, put the ham in, put it back in the oven for a little longer, and then take it back out, and it's done. Week 3 is acid, and the first thing I'm making is salsa. So here I'm picking the stems from the cilantro. Here I'm cutting up the tomatoes. After they're cut, I blend them with the cilantro. Next, I cut up this hot pepper and take out the seeds. Then I can cut up the pepper into smaller pieces. After that, I cut up the scallions. And then blend it all together. On page 102, Nosrat stated, I began to see the true value of acid is not its pucker, but rather balance. Acid grants the palate relief. It makes food more appealing by offering contrast. I'm going to make stuffed peppers, so I make some rice. Put tomato sauce and paste into a pot. Then I put the meat and eggs into the bowl. Then I cut and remove the seeds from a green pepper. Stir the meat and eggs with the rice. Put the mix into the peppers. Turn the rest of it into meatballs. Then I put the stuffed peppers and meatballs into the pot. I made some macaroni pasta to go with it, and then the stuffed peppers and meatballs finished cooking. Now I'm making chocolate covered strawberries, so first I melt the milk chocolate. Then I cover strawberries in chocolate until there's none left. After I'm done with the milk chocolate, I melt the dark chocolate. Then dip more strawberries into the dark chocolate. Chocolate-covered strawberries are under the acid week because strawberries are acidic. I'm making pizza, so here I'm getting water for the yeast. I dump flour and salt into the bowl. Then I stir it around. Then I heat up the water, make sure the temperature is right, and dump the yeast into the water. Then I stir it around for a while. And dump the yeast water in with the flour and salt. I stir it around until it becomes solidified. I dump out and spread around a lot of flour on the counter. Then I can dump out and knead the dough. Then I put it in the oven so the dough can rise. I dump the sauce into the bowl. Then I add some seasonings into the sauce. and stir it all together. Now the dough is risen, so I spread it out around the pan. I spread the sauce around the dough and then sprinkle cheese on top. Then I add on the pepperoni. And sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. I put it in the oven. And then it's done. Week 4 is heat, so I'm making barbecue chicken on the smoker, and then I flip the chicken. After a while, I check the temperature of the chicken and then take it off the smoker. I move it from the smoker to the grill for a few minutes and apply the barbecue sauce. Then I take the chicken off the grill, and now it's done. On page 133, Nosrat said, "I saw how good cooks obeyed sensory cues rather than timers and thermometers. They listened to the changing sounds of a sizzling sausage, watched the way a simmer becomes a boil. In order to cook instinctually, I need to learn how to recognize these signals. I need to learn how food responds to the fourth element of good cooking, heat." So now I'm making bacon cheeseburgers. So here I'm taking out the bacon and putting it on the pan, and then I put it in the toaster oven. Now I'm making the burger patties and weighing them to the right size. I'm putting the burger patties on the grill. I took the bacon out, flipped it over, and then put it back in. After that, I flipped the burger patties. Put on some cheese. The bacon's done, so I take it off the pan. The cheese is melted, so I take the smaller burgers off the smoker. And flip the bigger burgers. Put the cheese on the other burgers. I put the buns on the top rack to warm them up. Then I take the burgers and buns off the grill. Then I put the bacon on the burger and it's done. Now I'm making pork chops. So here I'm making the marinade. First I put in soy sauce, then I put in olive oil, and then lemon juice. After that I put in some brown sugar. Then I put in some other spices. Then I mix it all together and dump it in with the pork chops. I'm making baked potatoes to go with the pork chops, so I roll them around in some olive oil and then wrap them up in the tin foil. Put the potatoes on the smoker, and then I put the pork chops on. After a while I flip them to the other side. After a little while they're done and I take them off the smoker. Now the baked potatoes are done, so I take them off. Now I'm making baby back ribs. I put some spices together and mix them up, and then I season the ribs with the spices. Then I put the ribs on the smoker. After a while I check the temperature. Since it's cooked through enough, I put on barbecue sauce. Now I take it off the smoker, and it's done. All 4 weeks are complete.